What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 2 of the Fitness Ethics Podcast. 3.
It's 3. It's episode 3.
I'm already messing up early in the game. Today we have a very special guest for you. As you know, I'm Giovanni, and this is
Mercedes,
the lovely lady of the Fitness Ethic. Today we have a great friend and brother of ours, James Penn. My man is the Associate Vice President with PLS Logistics. All right, he has a degree in marketing and management from Pitt. He was a Division I soccer player back in the day, as he likes to say. And not only is this dude a friend and brother of ours, he started off as my client, and he's currently a business partner and is a part of the Fitness Ethic. And it gives me no greater honor than to sit here and have this conversation with you and expose some of your beautiful gifts to the world, James.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super happy to be here. I wish I was in your guys' living room with you.
Yeah.
Just down the street, really.
Right.
But, soon enough.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, as you know, the Fitness Ethic has some pillars, and I kind of want to use our pillars to kind of guide our conversation today. The one pillar, which is the most obvious, is fitness, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk fitness. What does fitness mean to you, James?
Fitness means to me a lot of different things. Over the last, I'm about to turn 35. Okay. And over the last 20 years, it's meant a lot of different things. When I was a kid, it meant playing soccer competitively. I really on an awesome soccer team growing up, and then obviously having the opportunity to play college soccer at the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown. And that was competitiveness, staying in shape, being the best shape of my life. In my 30s, it's a little bit different. Right. Now it's more of a dogfight. It's something that I have to work at, and it's not always fun, but it still means a ton to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how does it fit into your life now? Is it something that you do on a daily basis? Is it something that you're doing to perform your activities on a daily basis? Is it?
In a perfect world, I would be working out 7 days a week. Sometimes the old bones don't really help let me do that, but it's a part of my day-to-day. It's a part of how I can get up in the morning and go do my job or be a part of our brand. Fitness is super important.
Right.
Me and James's favorite saying is just keep moving.
Just keep moving.
I want that on the shirt.
Just keep moving.
Now, is there a certain specific style you subscribe to when you do get the chance to work out?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I used to be really heavy into weights, and there's nothing wrong with clanging and banging, but anymore, I want to touch my toes. I want to be able to run. I want to be able to, sit all day without hurting my back. So body weight exercises, using bands and whatnot. A lot of the stuff that we're doing daily in the gym and in our videos is what I really like to do now.
Yeah. So a lot of mobility work, things. How do you feel like you're benefiting from that?
I got really tight hips from playing soccer for a long time. There's no wiggle in these hips.
A lot of pivoting kick.
A lot of pivoting. So, being able to get some mobility back in my legs, it's what I need. I can't barely cross my legs some days, and the mobility workouts help a ton.
Yeah. It's definitely been. Would you say it benefits you too, Mercedes?
Oh, 100%. I mean, shameless plug right here. Have you watched me and Giovanni's cardio hit workout that came out Monday? You can literally tell from the first round of warm-ups, we're doing like overhead squats. I am not correctly doing them 100% right. I am not windmilling and lunging nearly as much as I should. And after we did those mobility exercises just for one round, we ended up doing them for 2. In the warm-up, by the second ones, I think I even said in the video, I was like, oh, look at these hips.
Yeah, usually about half an hour, 45 minutes of the workout, I'm finally loose.
Yeah.
You say all the time, Giovanni, it's like, well, you need 45 minutes of ability to be able to do the workouts.
Right. I subscribe to that, where it takes me more time to warm up than actually play the game, and it can be a frustrating experience, especially when you have overdeveloped muscles that you've used in a certain pattern of motions on a daily basis.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you work? I'm just curious because warming up, obviously being an adult now, I realize how important it is having older bones and more repercussions from being injured. When you were a Division I athlete and when you were like growing up as like a soccer, pretty like a competitive soccer athlete, did you like take warm-up seriously or?
No, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but Randy Moss wasn't real big into warming up. And I took after that. It was like, put your cleats on and go do your thing. I had plenty of trainers always give me a hard time. I'm sure my dad will see this, and he was the one always say you need to go stretch before you go do that, what you're doing, JP. I wasn't good at it. I would kind of go through the motions. Now I need to warm up to go to work, and it's changed quite a bit.
It's funny because Randy Moss has one of my favorite simple quotes of all time. Straight cash, homie.
Yeah. The man wouldn't tie his cleats sometimes. He didn't need to.
Straight cash, homie.
No, I second that. I used to get in trouble at, like, when you go to all the different universities, like from like upper elementary to like trying to get recruited. And they would always put us through these like really intense warm-ups. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, I am not doing that. And I used to BS. Like get my ankles taped, like jog so slow around, and I would get yelled at the entire time, like, you need to warm up. And I'd be like that. I'd be like, nah, I'm too good to warm up.
For those of you that don't know, Mercedes is also a D1 athlete, played field hockey up into a very high rank, and even tried out for the U.S. Olympic team, which her sister currently plays for.
Yeah.
So her and James have a lot that they can relate on it as far as some old injuries that they have to deal with.
Historically, pain.
Yes.
And injuries. Yeah.
Now, would you say there's a favorite piece of equipment that you like to work out with right now?
Oh man, I would say it's split between the bands and a kettlebell. Finally starting to wrap my head around how to use the thing.
Yeah.
6'4", it's a little odd at times to get your swing down, but I love the challenge of working with it.
Yeah. I definitely. If you haven't seen the post, I definitely enjoy kettlebell. Kettlebell, I think, is one of the most versatile pieces of equipment that you can use, especially as an athlete. So, definitely subscribe to that.
I'm going to try to catch on to you guys' bandwagon here. Me and the kettlebell do not have a good relationship.
It's been a long time coming for me to get to where I'm at now, so more to come for sure.
Now, another one of our pillars is community, right? So in community can mean a variety of things. What does community mean for you, James?
A place of belonging, a place where you feel safe. You can have fun, they could be friends, they could be your best friends, but they also could be, people you build a relationship with out of what seems like thin air.
Right. I'd like to say that this is one of the greatest examples of community. Both of you I met in the fitness realm.
That's true.
And obviously have developed tight bonds and relationships with, so I definitely appreciate that. How about you, Mercedes? What do you think?
For community?
Yeah.
I said this in the beginning of our podcast, I think it was, and if it wasn't then, it was definitely during our insecurity episodes. I think growing up as a lifelong athlete, I need the team aspect. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't enjoy getting at it by myself at all.
Right. I think that's definitely an interesting
100%.
concept.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's something to be said, like that. Like, if you listen to most retired pro athletes, the one thing that they miss the most is that brotherhood, right? Or that camaraderie, or that being in a locker room with the fellas, just being able to talk and hang out and go through that experience with their teammates.
Yeah.
So I definitely can relate there in our relationships and just in general. That's probably the illest element that I enjoy. With that being said, would you say, is there a carrot that you pursue in the fitness realm outside of your obvious motives to be more mobile? Are there some, like, everybody wanted to be Arnold Schwarzenegger once upon a time, right?
I love that.
Right.
Everybody wanted to be Arnold. That wasn't all of a sudden.
A little bit, yeah. He was the man.
Everybody wanted to pump you up. You know what I mean? Is there any are there anyone or any fitness models or things of that sort, or even just families, close relatives that you aspire to or keeps you going, keeps you as a carrot?
That's a tough question. I mean, right now at 34, 35-ish, you look at some athletes that played late into their 40s, like you look at a Tom Brady or you look at a Tiger Woods. Right. Tiger Woods came back from a horrific back accident, and you look at those guys and they're older than me. They got a lot more resources than me, but I aspire to be able to compete, even if it's at a playing around in the park level. So just being able to still be athletic like those guys have shown.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I know that looking at some of the guys, I mean, R.I.P. Kobe, but his final game, 60 plus, like, come on, man, being able to have that ability.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I keep, and which is a personal goal of mine, is just to be able to perform at a peak aspect to whatever that is for me at that time period. And knowing that I can access that, right? Not just allowing the time or the watchtower to just kind of tell me when it's time. Right.
What I mean? So, absolutely.
What about you?
So up until recently, I haven't thought about this, but not too long ago, that Mia Hamm commercial came out. Do you know which one I'm talking about? That's like her iconic bra moment.
Yeah.
And she still looks just as good as she does when she won the World Cup. Like, how many kids later? Like, she still has abs.
Yeah.
And I kind of was like, and more than the physique, I was like, I bet you she still could kick some ass. Like, how on that soccer field.
I bet you she could go on the field and be absolutely electric.
Yeah.
I met her when I was like 12 years old. Man, that was cool. I was so pumped, me and my sister, to meet her.
That's awesome.
Because she was so good, and she still is just a hero when it comes to the sport.
I mean, I wasn't like, I played soccer growing up like most little kids. I wasn't a soccer player, and I even had her jersey, and I rocked it all the time.
Yeah.
Always. Number 9.
How about accountability partners? Like, I know that for me personally, one of the things that I use is kind of like, obviously my goals and objectives, but sometimes that's just not enough. Sometimes you'll wake up and feel like it's not. But I use the people that are closest to me, like you guys, as if I'm not getting better, then how can I help you guys get better? But also my clientele. If I'm not getting better and giving them something to attain or work towards, or giving them targets and goals and able to perform them myself. So one, I can obviously demonstrate the moves, but also two, I can keep them motivated. Then I feel like I'm aligned and cheap. So what about you? What do you feel?
Yeah. I really needed an accountability partner right around the time I met you. If you think about that, over 4 years ago, I was in a bad place. I was in a bad place physically. I wasn't in great shape. I was well over 300 pounds, heavier than I've ever been in my life, not being able to even run a half of a mile, no less a mile. And although we had a relationship of you being my trainer, it was much more about just someone that's counting on you to be there.
Right.
And over the last few years, I've been lucky to have us three as a collective group. My dear friend, my best friend, one of my best friends, Dane Leffler. We spent years working out after work together with you in the gym.
Yep.
Going after being competitive, working out stress. I think accountability partners in everything is super important, especially fitness. Yeah. In a hectic schedule for sure.
Yeah. Now, are you currently working out with someone? Do you have a workout partner? Is there a way that you break down your workouts?
Well, I'm very lucky to have a business partner and friend who happens to be pretty good at it. His name's Giovanni. So when I don't want to work out on Saturday mornings, I usually get a text message saying, "Where are you?" I have accountability partners, Mercedes, the group. But anytime I can kill myself out of the bed, being able to go to class and do those things, for sure, there's a lot of accountability out there.
Yeah.
And I need it. I need all of it.
And we have a 15-minute grace period in classes, and we all live about a mile or less away from the gym. So when G sends you a text, he knows you can make it.
Yeah. There's no I can't get there. We don't live that far away.
But it's like I said, though, I count on you guys as much as you guys count on me. So, I honestly miss those Saturday workouts. Obviously, we can't have them during the quarantine phase right now, but I did enjoy those Fridays with Nikki, Saturdays waking up and working out with you. It was like the perfect back-to-back segment and kind of like super bro moment. A lot of times we didn't get a chance to talk. We just were working out.
We're in there for 3 hours instead of 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And it is a total bro moment because I've gotten to like work out a couple times with you guys as we're going home. G's like, Mercedes, just so you know, this can't be a regular thing. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, and I'm like me working out. He's like, well, with us. Like,
just in case you guys don't remember, I was raised around all sisters. So any bro moment I can have, I'm gonna be selfish. So I know you. So one of the other questions that I had was relationships built or established through the experience. And I know that we've definitely developed a relationship. And some of my closest friends, obviously here, and even like I said, Nikki, Claude, Mike, some of those friends that meant the most to me, Cordell, growing up and going through a lot of tough experiences, I've obviously developed in a gym experience, or the relationship got garnered more like stickiness to it during those times. Is there anybody else that you've developed a relationship with that you
know, after all these years, I still keep in touch with people I played soccer with when I was 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can connect pretty quickly, and it doesn't take us long to just catch up. I'm a firm believer if you've gone to war with someone, you know, it's a sport. Obviously, it's not actual war, but you learn a lot about each other, and then you still can be friends 20 years later.
Right.
You know, I have great friendships where I love to go grab a drink with them, but now it's even better to go work out a little bit and push each other. You know, it's changed over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely have some different people out there.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, you know, I went to boarding school, so that's also like a unique experience, and like you don't just grow up with people, you live with them. Mm-hmm. So I talk to people from second grade still, like they're my sisters, because they kind of are. We grew up together.
Yeah, I played on this team called the Blasters growing up, and I had to explain this to Christy a little bit ago. We won like 80 games straight or something from the age of like 9 to 12. All the people on that team are super successful, but anytime we run across each other, we always talk about it as if, you know, we won the World Cup at 12 years old. It's a great memory.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Man, that's great. That's great. So, I'm just going to do this as a shameless plug. Where do you currently train?
At the Fitness Ethic.
Hey, say it one more time, James. Say it again.
One and only the Fitness Ethic. That is the only place I train and the only place I work.
Right. Just in case you guys missed it in the beginning, we are all business partners, so of course we're going to shamelessly plug the brand.
We're not going to hide that.
Right. No. We're not going to let you get away without hearing about that one.
Right. Quarantine will end, people, and if you are local.
And for right now, if you're virtual, right?
Yeah.
Virtual all caps, to be specific.
Yes, virtual all caps.
All right, so as we're rounding out to our third pillar, right? Our third pillar that holds us up. Empowerment. What are some of the lessons you've learned throughout your athletic or fitness experience that sticks to you to this day?
I honestly think people that play sports have a leg up because they've already been challenged at a young age. Mm-hmm. You know, you lose games or you don't play well, and you only have a couple options there, and usually it's just get back up and do it again. In my day-to-day life at work and us being business partners, you have to have tough skin. Right. You have to be able to handle objections and problems. Mm-hmm. Sports has done that tenfold, for sure. Right. And even in my adult life now, working out helps you get through tough situations in everyday life. Right.
Or even relieves the stress from those days on a daily basis, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Stress management's huge if you want to be successful, and working out's a huge part of doing that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just curious, and this is something because it took me a long time to make the switch. So you talked about how, you know, if you played sports, it really, in a sense, instilled like a mental toughness in you that really is the connection to life for you to do well as an adult or as a human being. My papa would word it, I didn't coach you to be a good athlete, I coached you to be a phenomenal human being. And that's what it is. When did you realize that? Because I was really old until I realized that switch of like, no, I'm just a phenomenal athlete, and then kind of being like, wait a minute, like you're not doing anything at 30. Like you're actually just a good human being. Like this was just to make you a productive human being.
Well, for me, I had the pleasure of being a coach after play. And when I was younger, in my early 20s, it was just a way to make some side money. But when you got coaching in your 6th, 7th, and into my early 30s, you realized your responsibility as a coach, as a soccer trainer, that your responsibility wasn't for them to get to the MLS. It was to make sure that they would be, productive, strong people when they got older. And usually through teaching, you end up recognizing what you've already learned. It made me reach out to my old coaches, Mike Coomer, Mike Cesara. These guys are, a lifeline for me still. They coached me when I was 12, 13, 14 years old.
Right.
And I'm very lucky that the kids that I used to coach are now adults. And they're very successful adults. One's going to be a doctor. The other one's working at a, big D1 school. Some of these guys are humanitarians. I mean, they're amazing, these kids.
Right.
And, when they thank me for what I've done as a coach, I'm just in awe of what they've done,
right.
So I think I got the opportunity to give back, which allowed me to recognize that earlier.
All right. So how about disciplines and strategies that you use on a daily basis? We know that a lot of what you do for work and logistics is sales, right? Have you learned any disciplines or strategies in the fitness realm that carry over?
Oh, man. Discipline in the sense of knowing you can't accomplish everything in one day, right?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I'm still battling trying to do burpees. There's a few different ways to do them.
Right.
Trying to be able to do an overhead press, things like that. There's different stages to being able to do it, and you see that in the sales world. You don't cold call someone today and land them as a customer.
Right.
There's a process to it. There's steps to it. There's things you have to do. Fitness very much models that when it comes to sales. I think there's sales and working out. There's a lot of similar things there. That's why so many of my employees are ex-athletes.
That's a good one. That's a good one. How about disciplines like something that you feel is relative from the fitness realm that you can carry over on a daily basis, or something that you teach your employees?
Well, when you're working out and playing sports, having control over things like breathing, taking a breath, crisis management when you feel overloaded. In the day-to-day workouts, there is a moment, especially if you're taking Wednesday's class, where you are on your knees in pain, right? And you usually can hear you in the background basically telling us to breathe. And being able to deal with that is very similar to when you're stressed out at work.
Right.
Being able to handle those moments. I think that's huge for when you're stressed at work or when you're overwhelmed.
Definitely, I can definitely see that one. That's a good one. Now, would you say, as far as empowerment, does fitness empower you to do with your everyday activities, or are you better without it?
It definitely empowers you to be great at whatever you're doing during the day. I'd love to be a morning warrior. I'd love to get up every day and do it. I wish I was more consistent, but when I do it, I feel like I take on the world. That day flies by. I feel strong. I feel confident. And in the world of sales and logistics and management, those are things you need to feel like.
Right.
So I absolutely think it empowers you.
Now, speaking on schedule, when do you prefer to work out, morning or night?
I've always been a night owl. And there's nothing wrong with an afternoon workout, but sometimes you don't get the best of either world. You don't give as much as you could to the work, or the workout seems to be limited because you're spent at 6 p.m.
Right.
In a perfect world, I'd be a morning workout person. I'd be at that 6 a.m. class every day, because the days just go better when you do it.
How about you?
It's like funny. I still think I stick to like being an athlete time. So it's like 8 a.m., 9 a.m., or 4 or 5. And that's like my ideal time. Unfortunately, my schedule does not allow me to do that. So I feel like I'm always battling kind of what James was saying, you know, trying to find the ideal time for my life to work out and the ideal time for like what I know is best for me to work out. I kind of just subscribe to what you say. It's all a balance. One day I'll be able to work out during those times. This time is not today.
It's interesting because I feel as though it's weird. I enjoy working out in the morning, but if I'm in a crowd, in a group, right? If I have others that are holding me accountable. In the afternoon, I can tend to develop the energy to work out by myself, or with a culture trainer, because I have trainers as well, right, for boxing and things of that sort. And then in the evening, I think I like working out with a person, like that one person that you're gonna kind of like talk with, because like you said, the day kind of drags you along. You know, you kind of you got a lot to talk about, and I feel like my brain's always going at that point. So I wanted to be able to have like my soundboard that I could talk to.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, in the way you put that, it makes a big difference, because when we work out at night, you get to kind of unload everything that happened that day.
Yeah.
And when you work out in the morning, you get to be prepared for what's going to happen.
Right,
so there's benefits to both.
Right. Just get it done. That's it.
It is.
Just get it done.
Even though I do feel like, I know me and James talk about this, I know me and James struggle to find a routine because our schedules just aren't routine. And that's like the one thing, regardless of the time of day, I just wish I had a time that worked every day. Like, I'm so envious of people that I know anything can affect your schedule, but like that pretty much their jobs don't affect their schedule.
Right.
That, you know, it's like a one-off that they can't go. That's like the one thing I struggle. I wish there was just a day every day I know I can be there. And that's just not the case.
Now.
Yeah, I mean, consistency is super important.
Yeah. Definitely now, yeah. So, this is where we cross over into the professional, James. All right?
Okay.
Yeah. So.
I turn my hat around now?
Yeah, turn your hat. All right. Now, as I said, James is the Associate Vice President at PLS Logistics, right?
I just thought of a mullet. I don't know.
And with that being said, I mean, you've met the likes of Jordan Belfort. For those of you who may not know, that is The Wolf of Wall Street, the movie that we all watch. That is
like my favorite movie.
Yeah, you sat in a room with some great sales minds and things of that sort.
100%, yeah.
And obviously, you're not too shabby in the sales industry yourself. So during this time of quarantine phase, right? I know there's a lot of businesses or small business owners, or even trainers that are hard pressed for sales and hard pressed for business and things of that sort. Do you have any advice for those?
Well, I have a ton, and I don't know if we have all the time for it, but just like in working out and sports, frame of mind is important. You know, you have to be in the right mindset to sell something, especially right now. Now, I'm very lucky to be in an essential industry, supply chain logistics. We're shipping things like, even like hand sanitizer is one of our customers. So we're shipping things that people need, but it's not very easy to make cold calls right now. You know, you're going in your head 1,000 miles an hour that you're bothering someone, or you're wasting their time, or they don't need your services. And if you go into things with that defeated attitude, you're not going to be very successful in sales or anything. Right. You know, our best salespeople are selling the idea that we're here to help. Right. And it doesn't matter what you're selling. But you can't just say it, you got to believe it. You got to actually believe you bring purpose. You know, something I harp on new salespeople is, when you do things, do it with purpose. If you're cold calling, do it with purpose. If you're doing follows, do it with purpose. Because people don't have time to go through the motions with you. If you don't believe in what you're doing, you shouldn't sell it. That's the honest truth.
That's 100% true.
Yes, yeah, and how about that crossing over into the fitness realm, right? If you don't believe what you're doing, find another method, right?
Ain't gonna work.
Yeah, find another method because that's not gonna work. Yeah, and obviously, like you said, like mean it. Like if you're gonna do it with purpose. If you're gonna work out with purpose and intention. You know, so that was definitely helpful. Yeah, absolutely. What is one of the books that you would suggest during this time period, business wise or sales wise, for someone to read?
Oh man, right now it's unprecedented times. I don't know if it's so much about the skill of selling as much as is it about the mindset behind it.
Okay.
I can't think of one to mind right now. Maybe we'll list it in the comments below. But there's so many books I'm pulling from. There's so many podcasts I'm pulling from. You listen to Tim Ferriss. There's so many things he talks about in the sense of frame of mind and what you should be saying and how you should be saying it. And all of the guests he has talks about it too. But you just really got to find something that's going to put you in the right mindset more than anything.
Right.
I think sales is easy from that standpoint. I think it's about there's a buyer and seller of everything. You just have to find the right people that want to buy what you're selling.
Right.
But once you find them, it's how you go about doing it. It's your approach that really matters.
Right. Right.
I would say this book you gave me and G at least last summer. And I'm staring at it right now. The Messy Middle. I've been leafing through it. I haven't read it cover to cover yet. I know you have. Right now, everyone, regardless of how established your business is or not, we're in a messy middle because we don't know what's going to happen, and kind of everything that happened before is ill void going forward. So I don't know if there's anything that you want to elaborate on the book or kind of talk about.
Yeah, I really like that book, The Messy Middle, so much I got you guys a copy, but it's because in every business, sales, life, you're stuck in the messy middle. If you're at the beginning, you're at the beginning, but you should never really be at the end. There's always a problem that needs to be solved. Work can be chaos, and what that book's done for me, because I don't know if it's a book you're supposed to read from cover to cover. It's more, for me, it's open it up, go to the index, pick a subject, see how they talk about it, and then take away from it what you can. And I think that's a great book to suggest for people. Yeah. The Little Red Book of Sales is another one. If you haven't read it and you're going to be in sales, especially if you're a trainer, just the idea, the concept of behind cold calling and talking to people, that's another one you can look at as well.
There's definitely some good stuff. And then there's also, too, you mentioned them earlier. This is just one that I thought of during the time period we mentioned it. Tools of Titans, right, with Tim Ferriss.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different pieces of advice from a limited amount of people, right? That you can access. So it's excerpts, right? So you don't have to read a full book a day.
Right.
That's another great one. So I'm gonna hit you with the rapid fire, James.
Okay, I'm ready.
Ready for this?
Yeah.
You're ready for this? All right. So obviously, the name of the game is to come up with an answer as quick as you possibly can. All right. We're bringing this home. We're bringing this down to a landing. All right. So I'm going to do some simple ones, and we're going to build up to it. All right.
All right. I'm ready.
All right. Favorite color and why?
Blue. Blue is my favorite color. Why? It's my dad's favorite color. That's one of the reasons why. I mean, I wear a lot of blue. It's calming to me, but also there's a lot of different shades of it. So blue.
Okay. All right. So no specific shade, all the shades.
Yeah, all different blues. Some blues are calming, some blues are dominating. Sometimes I'm wearing black now, but sometimes it's a little too much. I like blue.
James does like a nice light blue though.
He does, that's true.
I got blue shoes, I got blue hats, I got blue suits. I obviously like blue a lot.
The band shirt that you wear.
Yeah, that's my favorite band. It's kind of emo-ish, but it's a good blue.
How about books? Favorite book?
Favorite book. This sounds. Who Moved My Cheese? Is my favorite book that was given to me by a college professor back at Pitt Johnstown, Dr. Reed. It's an interesting book because it talks about what you put in perspective and how you view that. And it meant a lot then, and it means a lot now as I've gone through my career. I keep it on my desk.
Okay. Spirit animal, and why?
I always say lion, and I do mean it. And there's two parts to that. Obviously, I'm a Leo, but I admire the lion. Like, I admire the way that the lion can look after its tribe, the lion that takes control of things, that sits up with a strong chest. But then I also am envious of the lion. You know, a lion takes chances. A lion goes and does it. They doesn't think twice about it. And those are things I want to be better at as I go through life as well.
That's a good one.
You're Simba now. You will be
Simba.
But Rafiki knows best.
You know.
Yeah.
Favorite quote.
Oh man, you're stumping me. Wow, God, I'm thinking of one. Hope is not a strategy. That is my favorite quote. I don't know who said it, but I like that quote. And you know, my guys at work would be laughing at me because I have it actually over a doorway in our office, because to say I hope things get better, it's not a strategy. You got to plan for it.
I like that one.
Plan and act, right? Plan and act. All right, so here's a good one. Most embarrassing athletic or fitness experience?
There's probably a few that I maybe don't even know how embarrassing it was. One time in college, we had an all-white uniform, and it had poured. And about a few seconds into the game, I hit a gigantic puddle. And the sliding shorts I had underneath were also white. And so it was a very transparent situation for the next 90 minutes of that game. There wasn't a lot of people at that game, but my mother was there, and I was even embarrassed for her to see me like that. So I would say that's probably the most embarrassing. I'm actually reliving it now. So yeah, that's the most embarrassing.
A lot of people got to know you really well that game.
Really super duper well.
All right. How about most exciting fitness or athletic experience?
I think there's a few. I mean, I will go back as far as being a kid and winning a championship and hanging out with your friends afterwards. And my dad was our assistant coach, and seeing him so happy. You know, in high school, I played with a really good group of guys. You know, they were amazing. I mean, some of the guys on those teams do some amazing things, including one of them being a really, you know, great professional athlete. We won some games we weren't supposed to win there. That was amazing. As a coach, you know, being there and watching my kids win a tournament that we tried so hard for 5 or 6 years, and to finally win it and to share that with them was amazing. And then honestly, as an adult, you know, I work out 4 times in a week. That's a championship. Let's go. You know, so it's changed over time, but but yeah, there's some really great memories there.
All right. So, standing here, who you are now in this moment, what is one of your proudest accomplishments and one of your foreseeable accomplishments? One of your goals that you envision you accomplishing in the near future?
You know, proudest moment is definitely where I'm at right now at work. I've been in my company for over 11 years. It's sales is tough, logistics is tough, and being able to carve out a path with the help of my peers, my staff, people above me, mentors, and get to where I'm at now, it has meant a ton. And I'm up for the challenge, and it's been great, but it means a lot. when I look about foreseeable future is obviously the continued growth of PLS and what we're doing there, but also this project right here and being able to reach more people, talk to more people, build our community, and build our brand, you know, because I believe so much in what we're doing here too.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right. I'd say you survived. I'd say you thrive.
All right.
Yeah. Well, man, James, I want to thank you obviously for not only being a brother to us both, being a great friend, walking hand in hand with us throughout this experience, and joining us in today's episode. Right. We definitely look forward to having you around and your accomplishments that we can attain together and achieve. And you know, I say this from the bottom of my heart, man. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, I love you guys. It's been an awesome journey. I love that what you guys are doing from home. I'm so happy I could join only a mile away, but you know, growing from here, you know, I'm so proud of what we're doing, and it's been an awesome journey. But we're just starting, you know, and so this has been a pleasure. Absolutely.
Oh man, Mercedes, would you like to sign us up?
Sure. So this is episode 3 of Fitness Ethic Podcast. Every Monday we post video workouts for you to do at home. Every Thursday we will have a new podcast out for you at 5 p.m. You please give us a thumbs up if you like our videos and hit subscribe. We are doing this for you guys. We want to build a healthier, wider community. So also if you are on Instagram, follow us at _fitness_ethic, Facebook, The Fitness Ethic, YouTube, Fitness Ethic, and follow all of us too personally. I'll put that down in the description box.
Yeah. As always, guys, you know, we're doing this obviously to not only promote a healthier, more balanced lifestyle, but to basically unveil the greatness that fitness provides into your life, right? That ability to cross the boundaries into parallel realities, right? To allow your life and fitness to walk hand in hand into a greater version, a more progressive and evolved version of yourself. And it's not here safe, who fly, 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 right? It's actually it's yeah, right. It's actually something that you can experience, right? When you're actually working towards a goal and working towards something and you experience it, it will carry on throughout your everyday life and activities. And anything that you practice, as James spoke about earlier today in the show, it'll help you in your daily activity, even from just sitting in your chair more properly. So, as always, we're sending this with peace and love. All right, we want to thank you all for watching, and we're wishing you the best. Peace!